कुंज बिहारी जय राधा
माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव। जय ओम श्रीपाद परमहंस गुरु जी का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरु महाराज की जय। जय ओम श्रीपाद परमहंस गुरु जी का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद अभय शरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम श्रीपाद परमहंस गुरु जी का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री मथुरा धाम की जय, श्री द्वारका धाम की जय, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गौरमंडल नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय, गंगा मई यमुना मई की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, संवेद भक्तवंद की जय, निताय पर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Gaur Pramanande Hare Gaur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavita sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Gridhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Gaur. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17 and verse 25, 26 and 27. Shri Sukha Uvacha iti prasadya girishau Chitraketurarindama Jagamasva vimanena Pashyato smayato stvayo. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Sri Sukadev Goswami continued, O King Parikshit, subduer of the enemy, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati, he boarded his airplane and left as they looked on. When Lord Shiva and Parvati saw that Chitraketu, also informed of the curse, was unafraid, they smiled, being fully astonished by his behavior. Text 26. Tatastu Bhagavan Rudro Rudranim idam abravit Devarshi Daitya Siddhanam Parsadanam Sashunvatam. Thereafter, in the presence of the great sage Narada, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who is most powerful, spoke to his wife Parvati, while they all listened. Text 27. Sri Rudra Uvacha Drishtva Vatyasi Sushroni Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Britya Brityanam Nihrupanam Mahatmanam. Translation. Lord Shiva said, My dear beautiful Parvati, have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas? Being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, they are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness. Purport. Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, My dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly, you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of devotees who have become servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, or others cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord, Shiva continued, He is always exalted in his activities, and here is another example of his wonderful influence upon King Chitraketu. His devotee, just see, although he cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He did not say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly excelled the glory of your beauty and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee, Chitraketu, has defeated you and your excellence by simply becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorapi Sahisnuna. Just like a tree, a devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reversals in life. So this is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, had excelled her power by his tolerance. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Shukadaya Shapreshtaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Namne Namasad Bhaktamanaya Manipurudhavaicha Prabhupadala Siddhvani Pracharanirtari. Namo Shukadaya Shapreshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charini. Nirvishesh Shunnavadi Paschatya Desitarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. My humble obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Maharajas. I thank the senior Vaishnavas for giving me an opportunity to share my understanding of this particular 3 shlokas today. And Maharaj was kind enough to engage me in this service. I'll try best of my abilities to convey as it is what is given in the purport and translation. So there are 3 shlokas. The first shloka talks about Sukadeva Goswami, continuing with the discussion. He says, O King Parikshit, subduer of the enemy, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati, he boarded his airplane and left as they looked on. So, when Lord Shiva and Parvati saw that Chitraketu, although informed of the curse, was unafraid, and they smiled, being fully astonished by the behavior. So here, one of the qualities of a great Vaishnava is showcased. So the Vaishnava here in the consideration is Chitraketu, and we all have been hearing this story, Mother Parvati cursing Chitraketu. It's been going on. So I need not to go into the details of it. We'll just focus on today's shlokas. So one of the qualities is being exhibited here by Chitraketu. We all have some qualities. All of us have wonderful qualities because we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. But we are not able to exemplify these qualities because we are covered by the dust of material modes. So the moment we cleanse our heart from the dust of this material influence, then all those qualities will be exposed, exemplified. we all possess these qualities. We all possess these qualities. There is no doubt about it. It's only covered. So there is a process to uncover this dust to these qualities. Okay. So here, that quality is being exhibited by Chitraketu, King Chitraketu. Next sloka. Thereafter, in the presence of great sage Narada, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who is most powerful, spoke to his wife Parvati while they all listened. So, my personal understanding of this sloka is that Lord Shiva, who is the greatest Vaishnava himself, is setting up the scene, to glorify another great Vaishnava. Okay. So why otherwise it is given that in the presence of great sage Narada, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, all types of people are present there, including his personal associates. Lord Shiva is going to glorify, he is going to talk to Mother Parvati about the glories of this great Vaishnava. So they're all waiting. So what is this he is going to say? So they all listen. The Shrunavatam. Shrunavatam is very important word here. Shrunavatam Swakatam Krishna Punna Shravana Kirtanam Ridyanteshu Abhadrani, it is said in one of the slokas, that just by hearing to the glories of the pure devotees, the Lord and his pure devotees, once all the inauspiciousness, Ridyanteshu Abhadrani, will get cleansed away. Okay. So here also Lord Shiva is going to narrate about the quality that is exemplified by Chitraketu, and everybody is waiting. These are the wonderful pastimes of the devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord, and it's like a small Bhagavatam going on there. It is going to start now. Okay, everybody is going to Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam. So Bhagavata Seva is going on there. Okay. So the glorification of a Bhagavata is going to go on in that place. So as it is mentioned, Shrunvatam, very important. So one has to listen about the glories of the Lord, about the glories of the Lord's devotees, then that itself will cleanse the dirty hearts of all those present in that place. Okay. So now the third shloka. Translation says, Lord Shiva said, my dear beautiful Parvati, we should note here, it's a wonderful pastime, really wonderful pastime. Being a Grihastha, I am able to relate it. How when we want to sarcastically say something to the other half, and what is the methodology? What is the method that is used? So Lord Shiva is also kind of using the same method here. He says, my dear beautiful Parvati, have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas? Being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, they are great souls. Very important again, this one. We'll delve more into this great soul aspect of it today, which is mentioned as Mahatma. Mahatmanam. The great souls, and are not interested in any kind of material happiness. So these great souls are never interested in any kind of material happiness. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada further explains in detail what was the mood of Lord Shiva when he narrated these things, and how nicely uh, he gives a judgment, he passes a judgment, you know. So let us go through this purport. Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, "My dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly you are glorious. But I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of the devotee who have become servants of Supreme Personality of Godhead." Lord Shiva is trying to compare here the external beauty of Mother Parvati with the internal beauty of the devotee. Okay. Certainly, you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and the glory of devotee. You are glorious because of your external beauty, but the devotees of the Lord, who are the servants and servants of the servants of the servant, their internal beauty is great. Their internal beauty is great, and because of which they become glorious. And because their internal beauty is great, they exhibit such a quality, and because of those qualities, they become glorious. And when this is being said in the next line, Srila Prabhupada says, of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife. So Srila Prabhupada says that this is the way husband deals with the wife. You know, you communicate what you want to communicate. You communicate in such a way that they get hurt also, they don't get hurt also. Okay. So but looking at this, we should not, Prabhupada is warning, we should not get into that kind of a thing. Oh, Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu without, knowing the greatness of Chitraketu, or we should not kind of try to put them under a lower platform, because we devotees most of the time we get over enthusiastic, and we tend to talk a little bit bad about the demigods, and particularly Lord Shiva, and this I've seen many times this happening. But Srila Prabhupada warns that you cannot, resort to that kind of an act here. So here, when Lord Shiva himself, when he told this to Mother Parvati, he was very jokingly, he was telling this to Mother Parvati. But others cannot speak like that. Then the Supreme Lord, Shiva continued, it is actually the written, the Supreme Lord within quotes. Okay, that is, the Supreme Lord is always exalted in his activities. And here is another example of his wonderful influence upon Chitraketu. So this is the beauty, very important line here. Because the Supreme Lord is exalted in his activities, his devotees are also exalted in their activities. They exhibit such a quality as it is exhibited by Lord Krishna himself. So, in that way, the influence positively, the devotees were associating with the pure devotee, so that these devotees also acquire such qualities. So from where did this Chitraketu receive that kind of exalted quality? Srila Prabhupada writes, it is because he is the devotee of the Lord. He is the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Okay. By executing devotional service, pure devotional service, one acquire these qualities. His devotee, just see, although he cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. He was never bothered. He was not at all bothered. What happened? Mother Parvati cursed him to become a demon. But here she had all the power to curse him to become the demon immediately also. Now I would ask, maybe in the end Maharaj can clarify this point, the Maharajas, why he was given some time. She could have cursed him, immediately you become a demon or immediately become a stone. How dare you, speak about my husband like that. So many qualities are brought in here. Sometimes what happens is in any kind of gathering or anything like that, if somebody says something about the husband may not be bothered actually, but the wife gets agitated. How can you talk about my wife or my husband like that? So this happens in a family life. Okay. So here also, this is an example, Mother Parvati, that she gets agitated when Lord Shiva was kind of spoken bad about by Chitraketu. So this normally happens. Okay. Just see, although he cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you. So, when many devotees have spoken in the past, how you should accept, whether you are at fault or not, if a pure devotee chastises you, it is a blessing, that is your perspective. That should be our perspective. Okay. It is for my own benefit, for my own improvement, that the pure devotee is chastising. So this understanding is very, very important. Otherwise, what happens is we tend to get disturbed by that, and that may lead us to some unwanted results, which we should avoid. Okay. Rather, he offered respect to you. In spite of she cursing Chitraketu, he says, I accept. He offers respect to Mother Parvati and called you mother and accepted your curse. So, sometimes in today's generation, if the parents say a little bit of thing, if they raise their voice, child immediately gets agitated and retaliates, and sometimes they go to the extent of using singular words to refer to the parents. It happens in our society because of the culture that is creeping into this very culture that is slowly being replaced by the non-Vedic way of lifestyle. So that influences this generation. But here, you can also see the wonderful relationship. Even though Mother Parvati curses him, but before cursing him, he says, my dear son. She uses this word. If I'm correct, I think that's how. My dear son, you will become this. Okay. You'll become a demon. So this mother and son relationship is also being established here, irrespective of whatever misunderstanding, temporary misunderstanding that is happening. So there are a lot of things that comes out when we deeply, very scrutinizingly study this particular chapter. So this is the excellence of a devotee. You do not retaliate. You do not retaliate. So this is one of the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse. Why Prabhupada uses? Prabhupada never ever will use any word that is irrelevant, that is extra. This, by mildly tolerating your curse. So the curse will happen, but it will not affect Chitraketu that much. Okay. So far it has not happened, but what happens is in our material life, we will be so much disturbed about what is going to happen after so many years. We don't even have control over that one. But here, as a devotee, he is not at all. He is, mildly disturbed. Wow, what did I do? Why did mother, in my thing, what I said is not wrong. But still, mother has cursed me, no problem, I'll accept it. So he has certainly excelled the quality of your beauty and your power to curse him. So Mother Parvati has two things. She is beautiful and she is powerful. Okay. But this beauty, as I mentioned, this external beauty of Mother Parvati is overshadowed by the internal beauty of Chitraketu, and the power that she has, that is overshadowed by the power of tolerance, power of indifference, power of undisturbed attitude. So this is replaced. So Lord Shiva further goes on to explain, I can impartially, now let's take the position of a judge. So he says, I can impartially judge that this devotee, Chitraketu, has defeated you in your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. So the very qualities of the pure devotee of the Lord will purify the whole existence, or whoever comes in contact with the devotee. Just by being there, that's why it's sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kahe, lavamatra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi. So this little bit of association of a pure devotee will purify our existence, and that will lead to our perfection in this human form of life. And that is exactly as what happened to Chitraketu. So then what happens? Then you are not disturbed by anything. You are not at all disturbed by anything. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. So you will never be disturbed by any kind of things, whether it is happiness, whether it is sadness, you will not be disturbed. So that is the position exhibited by Chitraketu here. Now Prabhupada writes, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorapi Sayisnuna, just like a tree. This sloka, Chaitatarpana Marjanam, Sikshashtakam, it is said, right? Pranadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sayisnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadari. So the devotees, they are humbler. They exhibit the quality of humility in a way, the grass, like, Pranadapi Sunichena. Even if someone stamps on the, Maharaj spoke about that. Somebody stamps on the grass. It doesn't retaliate, but the moment that person goes away, it again comes back to its original position. So, similarly, we all have to develop or try to develop this quality. And another quality that is mentioned in the shloka is Tarorapi Saisnuna, like a tree. The tree standing in open is exposed to various conditions. Storm. Recently, I saw the storm that came to Mumbai. That everywhere the tree was falling, and there was huge wind. Some of the trees, they were just standing there, and it was rain, sun, scorching heat. They don't complain. Okay. So that is the example of tolerance. In fact, we can see the nature. Look at little bit contemplative with a contemplative mind. We will understand that they exhibit so many qualities which we do not have. So if you slightly become meditative and look at the nature around us, the nature itself will teach us so many lessons. Just like a tree, a devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reversals in life. So this is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, he excelled her power by his tolerance. So one incident comes to my mind when this power thing is being discussed. Once one of the senior, I do not want to mention name, was also a devotee, but sometimes we devotees also get into wonderful moods. So he challenged Guru Maharaj, Sripad, do not know my power in Bombay. You come to Bombay, I'll show you my power. This is the kind of challenge he gave to Sripad. But Sripad was never disturbed. He was not at all disturbed by these words. He was only compassionate to that person. Okay. So, if you get the opportunity to associate with this pure devotees of the Lord, every activity of theirs, every action of theirs is exalted. Okay, you can see that one. And even if you don't see that one, miraculously, you will be exhibiting such qualities. At least few of them, one of them, that's enough. Samadama, Titiksha, Karunika. Now, so many qualities are there. So, even if you can exemplify one quality, actually, Subrata Prabhu, our God brother, Professor, what's his name? Mishra, Subhash Mishra. Once he gave a class in Juhu temple. He was invited to give a class. So that time he mentioned, all these qualities are there. If we can exemplify one of these qualities, then all other remaining qualities will follow them like slaves. So you don't need to bother, I have to develop humility, I have to develop tolerance also, I have to develop forbearance also. Not like that. You just exemplify one quality which you feel you have. You have compassion, just work on that. Just work on that. Exhibit that compassion. When you do that, automatically you may not be in a position to see what qualities you have. This is the beauty. The moment one comes to know that I'm humble, there starts the problem. You will not know that you are humble. For you, it is natural. Like this natural means nowadays we talk a lot about organic food and natural food and all. In our childhood, we used to have natural food naturally without even, but now for natural, we have to pay more. Anyhow, this is a slight deviation from the subject matter. What I'm saying is that the moment you come to know that you are beautiful, you are powerful, or you are compassionate, the problem starts there. Who should be feeling? Others who are dealing with you should be feeling. Okay. It should be natural for you. You won't even know that you are humble. I don't think Guru Maharaj ever thinks that he is humble. He always said the other person is humble. In one of the program in Vrindavan, he mentioned that Subhag Maharaj is a more humble devotee. So we all look up to Sripad Maharaj, but for him, the other person is humble. So this is the mood we have to inculcate. So similarly here, Chitraketu also has exemplified one quality of tolerance, which is being glorified by Lord Shiva in this slokas. And he glorifies not alone, not in the presence of all the people, because he wants to communicate to them how we should treat a Vaishnava. And he wants to communicate to them, even if your own person, your own relative, your own close and near and dear one tries to commit offenses against a Vaishnava, then you should chastise them. This is what happened in Sri Ramanuja's life also, our Acharya. When Tirukachinambi came to his house to honor Prasadam, he invites him. After honoring the Prasadam, when he is waiting, Tirukachinambi takes time to come. By the time he goes in search of the Vaishnava whom he has invited, by the time the Vaishnava comes home and the wife is at home, and he comes from a lower class, this Vaishnava. So she treats him like, very badly, like an untouchable, and takes his the leaves after he finishes thing and throws it in the dustbin. So when Ramanujacharya comes home, he asks, okay, what happened? Oh, he came and he had his prasadam and left. And then he asks, so what happened to the remainings? Uchista? She says, no, I threw it in the dustbin. Then he has 3 incidents like that where she behaves in a different way with the Vaishnavas. Then that's when he takes a decision to leave the family life and goes permanently. So this is the thing. Even though it is your own near and dear ones, if they commit any kind of offenses to the Vaishnavas, great Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord, you should chastise them. Or like Ramanujacharya, should just leave that place. So this is a lesson that we learn from this chapter. This sloka. I had a lot of things. I don't know whether time is there. Sanatan Prabhu, can I stop here? We'll take up questions, or I can speak for 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 more minutes you can take.
Yeah, I'll take 5 minutes because here that's Mahatmanam, that word I just wanted to little bit discuss how this is explained in detail in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 and 13. It is said, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakatim ashrita bhajantyananya manaso Nyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls. So this is the same word Lord Shiva is using here. They are not deluded, okay, or under the protection of the divine nature. Why do they behave the way they behave? Undisturbed. Because they are always under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Okay, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhava, Purusham Shashvatam Adidaivam, Ajam Vibhum. You know, Arjuna glorifies after coming to senses, he glorifies. Now you are Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. That's what is mentioned here. Original and Shashvatam, inexhaustible. So, in this verse, the description of Mahatma is clearly given. Prabhupada writes, the first sign of Mahatma, okay, is that he is already situated in the divine nature, under the protection of spiritual energy. He is not under the control of material nature. So the controller of, he is not under the control of material nature. Here Mother Parvati is the controller of the material nature. So he is not under the control of Mother Parvati. That is the reason he is not disturbed. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Prabhupada gives the formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So, when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains the stage of great soul Mahatma. And here, Chitraketu is referred to as one of the Mahatma. Okay, here that word is used, Mahatma Nam. They are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness, and they are not disturbed by any kind of material distress also. So, how they become Mahatma? Through the association of another Mahatma, Prabhupada writes. Okay? Pure devotee. Pure devotees are not even attracted to Krishna's other features, such as four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted to the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna. Now they are concerned about any form of demigod or human being. They are not really worried about any kind of demigods. And what happens if a demigod curses? They are not bothered really. When they are not bothered about the position and the power of that particular demigod, what will disturb them? Nothing will disturb them. So they meditate only upon Krishna and Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswavering service to Lord Krishna and Krishna consciousness. So I think with this I'll end here. Actually, I prepared in a different flow, but when I started, it took a different flow. No problem. It's all the guidance. I think it is the guidance that comes from within. Otherwise, what qualification I have? I have no qualification that to speak about Bhagavatam or Bhagavata. It's just for my own purification, I accepted this service from Maharaj. Thank you very much. And please, if you have any comments, questions, I will try my best to answer. Thank you very much.
Hey Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for this nice class. Yeah, if anyone is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Mother Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Govind Maharaj, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Madhur Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Maharaj, we are hearing.
Oh, Prabhu is here. Are you hearing, Prabhu? Madhur Krishna ji?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
Maharaj.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, many wonderful perspectives you brought out. And still the standard of tolerance is very high, you know. So the quotations of Taroripa Sahishnuna Tarorapi Sahishnuna, na? Something like that. Prabhupada, Taror api Sahishnuna. My question is that comparing the tolerance to the tree itself is beyond our capacity or practicality sometimes, Tree is very tolerant, and that tolerance means don't retaliate, giving the benefit of doubt to the other, even when the person is doing atrocities, apparently atrocities. How much tolerance we are discussing, and Mahaprabhu is really so determined, as if on this point of tolerance for the devotee. But Taror api Sahishnuna means more tolerant than a tree. This is how Srila Prabhupada translates. So, how means even coming to the level of tree, and then going beyond it, what kind of thought process must be in the sadhaka? Is there any way to think of becoming more tolerant than a tree? Means how to understand this?
Maharaj, you're asking a question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Maharaj?
Yeah, Maharaj has asked the question.
Thank you for, I asked the question.
Okay, Maharaj.
Means how much inspiration we take practically, and is there a way where examples can be used to remind us how much ready we should be for tolerating? Because tolerance is a very low standard as observed in the practical lives we go around, but the standard of Mahaprabhu is very high, na?
Yes, Maharaj.
How we bring the unison from my level of tolerance, and how to raise, how to improve, because there is a lot of space for improvement in tolerance part.
So with my limited knowledge, I'll try to address this question, Maharaj. I think by personal endeavor, with our own strength, we cannot do anything. Absolutely, we cannot do anything. We are so helpless. We are helpless souls. What is that we can do? Something, we follow a formula. Okay, I do this, I become humble. I do this, I become tolerant. And I do this, I become more tolerant than tree. Having said that, so that means it is not practical what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Tarorapi, more tolerant than the tree, is it not practical? As we have understood in the very preliminary classes of Bhagavad Gita, that nothing that is said in our scriptures are non-truth. It is a truth. So, it is a truth means it will happen. But the thing is, how it will happen? It will happen naturally, right? But the process is given. The process is association of a pure devotee. So that is what Prabhupada writes in this Mahatmana Suman Partha. Okay. He writes that how do they acquire these qualities of a Mahatma is from another Mahatma, pure devotee of the Lord. And how that pure devotee of the Lord acquires that quality is by pure devotion service to the Supreme Personality of God in the mode of servant of the servant of the servant. So this is the disciplic succession, not only the knowledge, through the disciplic succession, not only the knowledge, the mood also comes, the mood also flows. the qualities also flow. You know, that is why it is said that yes, the four sampradayas are there, but the mood of Sri Sampradaya is different. The mood of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is different. Okay. So the mood of our acharyas, nowadays I am just going through Narottam Das Thakur's songs, Pratana. I mean, what to say, such a great Vaishnava, such a great pure devotee of the Lord, but all his bhajans are so, it makes the person who sings, at least, you know, if you sing, if you are having a little bit of mercy of this pure devotee, you will understand that mood of the acharyas, the Vaishnavas. So this quality of, you know, tolerance, humility, I think that can only come by pure association.